Hello, good morning. It is June 13th, 2024. For some reason, my work laptop is not working. My PIN, which I have not changed, does not log me in. None of the passwords. The password I just changed last month does not log me in. None of the email addresses. I think they're moving to a new system, and I don't know. I think my laptop might actually, not my laptop, the laptop I use, might be dead. Last night, the 10 key stopped working, and I need the 10 key. So it's just like along the number line. And, we type a lot of numbers in a day, but, you got to do what you got to do. It slowed me down, but I was getting it done. But I just thought, okay, well, I'll connect a keyboard today, no big deal. I have an extra keyboard. I have like 2 or 3 extra keyboards, but usually things like that are kind of harbingers anyway. This laptop is 4 years old since I started, 4 years and 1 month old. So I use it 9+ hours a day, 5 days a week. So, it's probably time. So I emailed my bosses, let them know what's going on. And I emailed my coworker and asked her for the email for IT so I can get this stuff going. So I'm not down all day. Although if I need a new laptop, what am I going to do, Even if they overnight it, I'm not going to be able to do anything today. So fingers crossed, it's just a aberration. So something happened to me yesterday after work. Because I didn't do the bike, I went to the market to get some extra steps, and I did definitely get over my goal, my achievable goal yesterday. It's like, well, okay, so I'm not going to do the high impact exercise, but I am going to do more of the other stuff. So I went to get a Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. That's my treat. Turns out I'd bought myself a creamy coconut flavored Dr. Pepper, which is very weird. It tastes like Dr. Pepper with coconut milk in it. So, next time I'll pay more attention to what I'm doing. I do like a flavored soda. I do like to try these, but I really just wanted a regular Dr. Pepper. I wasn't really looking for a flavor. Cherry at the most. It's fine. But there was this guy. I don't know if he was already in there when I came in or if he came in like seconds later, but I'm looking at the chip aisle. There's like 3 shelves of chips. There's 2 here, and then you turn to the left, and then they're over here. So I'm looking at the first one here, and he like runs in front of me. I'm like, okay, he's mumbling something, like I'm not paying attention to some dude at a store. So as he runs in front of me, I finish looking at this aisle, so I step over here to look at this aisle. And then he goes back in front of me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, whatever. This dude isn't finding what he's looking for. So then when he passes, I turn this way, and I'm looking at this aisle of chips, and it's the same chips, This one is the full-size bags, this one is the small bags, and this one is just like overstock of the full-size bags. So I grab a bag of nacho cheese Doritos. Like, it just looked like the most likely one that I would snack on. I just wanted to come home and watch YouTube videos. So then I went to get the drinks, and he also followed me. Well, at the time I didn't think of him as following me there. I was like, so I get my Dr. Pepper, I get a cherry Coke, and I get a Coke Zero Cherry for my roommate. And then I always do this. I don't go to the register just from the front. I go around to the back and because there's usually people waiting in line. So it's easier than to just like cut in front of them and like, oh, I'm sorry. So it's just, but he probably thought I was trying to avoid him. And like by that time, I kind of was, because he was being erratically riding through the aisles, and I didn't realize he was watching me, but I didn't really want to be around him either. He was like a little bit taller than me. I'm 5'3", so I would put him at maybe 5'4", 5'5". But like you could tell the dude was big, stocky. He had face tattoos, especially along here and down here, and very loose, very big shirt, almost like nightgown length over pants, right? I think people are aware of what this look is. I don't know what to call it, where it wasn't a white shirt. It wasn't like a cholo white shirt. It was like a black shirt, but it was really big down. He wasn't like wearing long socks or shorts or anything, but it was a really big black shirt. So there's a guy in front of me, and I'm just standing in line. I'm looking at the candy at the register, on the way to the register, and I pick up like a Rocky Road bar and some Reese's peanut butter cups, and then at the bottom I see Boston baked beans, which are candy covered peanuts. I'm like, ooh, and I turn to bend down and get them, and I see that the guy is standing behind me in line, and so I'm smiling, and then I sort of like, didn't really look at him, but I'm just like, I got Boston baked beans. That's so cool. I haven't had these since I was a child. And then I go pay, and he's gone. He's gone from behind me, but I can see like the clerk is nervous, and he's like I can see that he's looking at him like where he's going, and he's not really paying that much attention to ringing me up. And I get it, because I would be the same. Because is this guy gonna rob the place? Is this guy gonna rob me? Right? So while I'm getting rung up, he sort of takes off. And I'm telling myself at the register when he's about done and I'm pulling my card out of the machine, I shouldn't go out there. Just stay in here for a minute, look at something. But I'm also like, I've got my stuff. This guy doesn't want me hanging around in here. Like, am I going to steal something? Like, so I'm like, I got to go. And then I just wanted to come home. I'm like, this guy's not going to do anything. He's out. He's probably down the street by now. So I go out and I turn right to go home, and I have my earbuds in the whole time, and I forget what the hell I was listening to, but I can hear him yelling, hey, 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 and I've got my earbuds in and I'm already a ways above, so I'm like, okay, this is plausible deniability here. I'm just going to keep walking and hope he gives up. He does not give up. He rolls up right alongside me, and he's like, all right. So I pull out my earbud, facing him, and I'm holding it in my hand like, okay. He's like, I'm talking to you. And he just kept saying it. I was talking to you. And I'm like, and then I'm just looking at him, and then finally I'm like, okay. And I was trying not to be like, okay, and roll my eyes, because I'm like, I don't need this guy to deck me. And he's like, I was talking to you. And then there was, I guess, a pause, and he's like, so, whoa, what are you doing? I was like, really? Inside. Outside, I was not doing this, because again, I didn't know what this guy was capable of. But inside, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Really? All of this to be like weird and flirty? And I think like that's when he saw how old I look. Like I don't think he realized how old I am, because like I don't know how I look in the sun, because obviously I'm not carrying a mirror around, but I know like at these lights you can see the wrinkles pretty well. So I'm sure they show up much more in the sunlight. I don't know. Although I've been told that I don't look as old in person. But I still probably looked old to him. And so he sort of, I could see that he saw that I was a little older, but he was still sort of there. So he's like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going home. And he mumbled something. I didn't catch what it was, because my music is still playing in this ear. And I'm listening with this ear, and he's kind of mumbly. And he falls back. So I hold up my earbud. It's actually in this hand. I'm like, okay, well, have a nice day. And then I put it back in my ear and just walk. So while I'm walking, I call my roommate and I'm like, hey, I think I'm being followed. Can you please come outside? Because what I wanted her to do is keep the door open so I could just ride on inside without having to do the code, without having to have my keys out, anything. And she was there. But luckily, before I got there, some guy came out with his son. And I didn't think the guy would protect me, but I felt a little bit safer that he was there. I was like, okay, if something goes down, at least there's this guy. So at least there's a witness, and his son was playing around. It was fine. And my roommate came in, and I came in, and we stood inside the door. She were looking to see if he followed me. He had not. But I told her the story, and we came up, and this kind of thing happens to me a lot. Sometimes I feel like every time I leave this apartment, some man has to mess with me. The last time, though, it's probably been a good year, but it does happen to me a lot. Like one time a man just walked into my apartment when I was picking up a DoorDash. He wasn't the DoorDash driver. Anyway, it happens to me, and this was just another in a long line of men messing with me when I'm out in the world. Thank you for watching. My time is up. I'll talk to you soon.